business and other many hats I've worn throughout the years in my young age. But I used to have a subsidiary of Berkshire Hathaway, ran my own businesses, investments. I'm kind of an entrepreneur of sorts, but my education is in finance and business management. When it comes to crypto, I was given an opportunity to invest several years ago, probably 10, close to 10 in Bitcoin. And I did like every smart person did at that time, and I passed, right? It was more important to me. It didn't make any sense. So I continued to invest in stocks and increase my portfolio that way. Lo and behold, here we are 10 years later, and Bitcoin is almost $50,000. I think it was like $10 back when I looked at it. But anyhow, so I didn't make that mistake too many more times. I got involved in crypto, started working in a few different projects, kind of behind the scenes, getting to know crypto and the inner workings in the space and how it correlated in business and how I could kind of adapt my knowledge and experience into the platforms and into different projects. So I kind of, once I felt comfortable, got involved in Saitama very early on as one of the original holders and developers of this program or in this token. Got to know the other developers, and we all just kind of put our heads together and said, what can we do to make this space better? What can we do to educate people? How can we really bring a different aspect to crypto in general? Just like anything in business, you got to find a need and kind of implement a program to it. So in my expertise, in my opinion, and everybody else on the program and everybody in the company, what are some of the things that, crypto misses and what is it lacking? Education being a huge aspect to that. If you're in a room with 10 people, 8 of them probably don't know what cryptocurrency is. Right. And does that mean that they don't care or they're just not educated enough? So when I got into crypto, there was no real material to find out about crypto. So everybody on this chat and watching this show, they probably did what I did. They went on YouTube. They went into Reddit, they went into Twitter, and they, that's not actual material, right? That's not educating. A lot of it is just opinion based. So where's the raw material? Where's the actual curriculum that I can look at to give myself a better understanding of what it is? And it's just not there. As of right now, I think the only university out there that has any kind of raw materials through MIT. So how can we change that? We need to develop a platform and make education a priority to Gen Z, Gen X, or even to boomers like myself, so we can have more people invest into crypto, so we can bring more money into the crypto universe. So that's kind of how we got into Saitama, and then from then it just rolled into everything that it is now. We've kind of taken everything to the next level and done a lot of things and are doing a lot of things that nobody really else is. And it's all on a needs base. So we find a need and we fill it. And we're creating these partnerships and collaborations and really just integrating a lot of unique dynamic into the crypto space. So that's kind of how it started. I know it sounds like years worth of work, but as you guys know, we've only been doing this since May 31st. So that's where we are now.
Yeah. I think it's amazing you have such a history and you guys are working so hard. And one thing I've really taken note of with the Saitama community is we have about 36,000 holders now, and it's one of the strongest, if not the strongest, crypto community on Twitter. So I think it's amazing how involved and how much of a leader you are to them and how much they actually respect you and what you're doing.
Yeah, it is. In my experience in dealing with different communities and being involved in different projects, even as just a holder, not even a developer, I would say hands down that this community, the Saitama community in Wolfpack, is the strongest community I've ever been a part of, the strongest community I've ever seen from a developer or from just a holder. It blows my mind every day. And it shows, the community strength and the backing of this project. It's a direct reflection of how successful we are. Myself and the other developers, we could work around the clock, but without any kind of actual backing and a community supporting the project, like we would not get anywhere. We surely wouldn't have gotten as far as we have so far without 36,000 people backing us up.
Yeah, most definitely. I was actually brought onto your project by Mr. Diamond Hands. I did a live with him about a week and a half ago, and he just completely sold me on the project. And I got in and I realized how amazing the community was and how amazing your project is. And I'm really happy to be a part of the Wolf Pack now.
Yeah, that's our neighborhood reverend. So if you guys don't know, he holds sermons once a week underneath the old maple tree. So we'll have to get him out and give us some words of wisdom. It's always good to hear him. And it's funny because he used to come on our AMAs. Like you guys know, we do AMAs every Friday. He'd come in our voice chat and do AMAs. That's how we kind of adopted the reverend niche, because I feel like I'm getting baptized every time I hear him speak. But yeah, no. So and it's people like that that's in the community that's passionate about what we're doing. And he shares the same perspective as the other 36,000 people in the community. So which is great.
Most definitely. What do you think you are most excited about Saitama and what's to come?
So we have a lot of really awesome opportunities that are coming up, things that we've already done, things that you guys have been filled in on, some of these partnerships and collaborations that we've been creating. I don't think there's really one specific thing. I mean, I am pretty excited about the education part of it, because that's a lot of what we are and how we kind of got started in this. So you guys saw our press release to where we're signed a multi-year deal with BlazeFire Games. And if you look into it a little bit more, you'll see that their direct connection is with Perion, which is another subsidiary that offers courses and college classes through a lot of them through the HBCU universities in the US.
Wow.
So we're going to be collaborating with them as well to create content, educational content that's strictly crypto based, onto their platform and made readily available to faculty, to staff, to the general public. So that in itself is going to largely broadcast cryptocurrency and Saitama at the same time, because that's our brand and our brand will be there. But it'll offer education aspect to everybody, on a global scale, not just strictly to those universities. But if we can get the content out there, and if we can make people feel comfortable and more educated about crypto, they'll be more adapted to want to invest. Of course, we want them to invest in Saitama, but just the more money that we can get circulating in crypto in general, I mean, we all win. Because right now, I mean, there is a significant amount of money in the crypto system, but it's a very fraction of what could be. The percentage of people that are invested in crypto is still very, very small. So if we can get more people in there, obviously the more money circulates and, Saitama wins, every other currency wins, we can grow as a whole. So education, of course, is something that we're passionate about, and it's a good, large project that we're working on. But we're also getting heavily involved in esports and gaming. So we're developing, games for part of our platform. The SATA wallet, of course, launching in November. That's a huge thing. We're going to have a massive venue. That's going to be a worldwide event. It'll probably be streamed, a million times over. We'll have a lot of people there. We'll have a lot of, news outlets and A-listers, and it's going to be a huge event. So that's something in the very near future that I'm excited about, of course. And the tech and the deployment of the tech, which is going to be revolutionary in itself. So, like I said, it's really hard to just dictate one specific thing, but these are just a few things that come to mind right off the bat that we're working on. Of course, that will be revolutionary for us.
Right. I think that's awesome how you talked about trying to educate people, because I personally, like a year ago, was very put off by cryptocurrency. You see so much FUD and bad things about crypto on the news, and it really drives people away from investing and actually doing their own research. So I think it's great for Saitama and cryptocurrency in general that you guys are going to be working towards educating people and actually giving them the resources they need to make the best decision for themselves to actually being invested in cryptocurrency.
Yeah, absolutely. And crypto gets a bad rap, all over the place, not just in the DeFi world when we're dealing with all these rug pulls and scam tokens, but just in general, I feel it gets a bad rap because we're not governed by the SEC. So there's not, there's an insurance liability, and people feel that their money isn't safe. Not that it's any safer sitting in a bank, because I had my money taken 3 times as a year already, and it's been secured away in my bank, right? So I don't. But the difference between that is, it's backed and it has, there's laws and regulations in place to protect your assets, and there isn't as much obviously in the crypto space, but the times are changing drastically, so I don't see it being much longer to where there's a lot more governance and structure involved in the cryptocurrency regulations and taxation. So once these things kind of take place, there will be a worldwide adaptation to crypto, and I think that everybody involved with it now is going to reap the benefits, because this is going to come as a tidal wave. And if you look now, in what month of September, as opposed to where we were maybe in January, there's so much more marketing involved in crypto now, especially with NFTs. You can't even watch a commercial or an ad anywhere without seeing something for Coinbase or Robinhood, or for some kind of NFT, or for esports and e-commerce. Like, it's everywhere. And that's just in the short period of 6 months, because like I said, in January, you didn't see any of that anywhere. So, we're at a turning point, and it's a really exciting time for crypto in general, more specifically for Saitama, just because of the venues and the things that we have going on that are very unique that nobody's doing.
Most definitely. And I think it's amazing how you guys have been able to accomplish so many partnerships and get so many big names in Saitama just in a few months. Can you tell me about some of the big names that are in Saitama currently?
Yeah, so we have so a lot of guys that you guys probably saw last night, like the professor came on. I spoke with him last night, and he's been kind of interested in getting involved a little bit in Saitama. We have a lot of Hall of Fame basketball players that I've announced. Some I haven't yet, some I will. Current NBA players as well that we haven't announced officially yet, because we have to go through their agents first. We have to do it legally. We have to add non-disclosures in place. We need to have their agent sign off on it. I mean, unfortunately, a lot of these guys can't even, go to the bathroom without having their agent hold their hand and tell them that it's okay. And so that's kind of where we're at right now with some of these current players, and that's just in the NBA. But we have, some other NFL players, some people on the pro tour and golf. We have a lot of current and retired big name, athletes that we're working with now, and we're doing a lot of NFT stuff for them, which is great. But they're also, holders, and they're also involved in Saitama. So what they do, and what anyone does, if you're involved in something that you're passionate about and something that you're successful in, what do? You tell the person next to you, you're like, hey, I invested in Saitama 2 weeks ago, and now I'm up 100%. What's the first thing they're going to do? They're going to look at it. They're like, wow, it's a good gain on your money. It's a good return on your investment. I bought stock 2 years ago in Apple, and I made $50, and this dude's over here making 12 grand in 2 weeks. So, it's things like that are contagious. So bringing in a lot of these big names introduces us to a very specific group of people that have a fair amount of money, and more importantly, influence in their group of people. So it's kind of like a waterfall effect. And you start bringing these people in, they tell their group of friends, and we're literally 1 or 2 calls away, like Mr. Thompson said on his streams, we're 1 or 2 calls away from literally reaching any single person and that we want. Some very large celebrities in the entertainment business, singers. We're negotiating contracts now with entertainers, like people in the rap business, other performing artists, Olympic people in the Olympics, this recent gold medal winners in the last Olympics. UFC, I had a conversation with the gentleman today about the UFC. We're going to get involved more in the UFC. We're going to sponsor some pay-per-view events. There's just so many different things that we're working on. And the things that I've told you guys is things that I have solidified that are written in stone that I'm comfortable in sharing. As I get this information, I roll it out to you guys. And I can tell you that we have, and that's just the tip of the iceberg, some of these things that we're, given to you guys so far. The rest of it, is just amazing. It's incredible. And this is all stuff that's been developing over the last 2 to 3 weeks. So once we really start to solidify these contracts and handle everything from the business side, we can make more information public, and then we'll of course market it. But we want to make sure that we're doing it the proper way.
Right. It's very important to do things by the book just because the SEC has been getting so involved with like Coinbase and stuff. So you really want to do things legally. But I think that's
Yeah.
awesome. You have so many different big names. And as you said, when someone makes money off of something, they tell their friends, and it's just a chain effect. And you're going to reach so many more people. I think we're going to be at a $1 billion market cap very soon.
Oh yeah, it's coming. I'm still sticking to it. The end of September we'll be at a 1 billion market cap. And so I see, just real quick, I keep seeing a lot of people are asking always about the Netflix stuff. So let me just address that also real quick. So we're not under contract with Netflix, but we are looking at a partnership and doing some things with Netflix with some of the retired players associations, some other the MAGA series tied into our gaming platform. Because our game, obviously, you guys have seen a little bit of the preview where it's more anime based, the Wolfcaster and Sata Studios. So looking to develop and implement like a MAGA series on Netflix that's based around the Wolfcaster series, because it will be a series, not just like a single platform game. And I can tell you that the people that are looking to develop our Wolfcaster game are some of the biggest names in the industry, and those names were brought to us on a silver platter. So that's going to be huge. Like, we're not having kids in their basement develop this thing. I mean, they're very, very high tech and people that are very savvy and big names, people that you know very well. So that's the Netflix thing, and that's, like I said, that's just one small piece of the puzzle compared to like what we're doing and what we're going to do. Yeah. So we'll have just about everybody, and pretty much anybody who's anybody we have access to. It's just a matter of finding a niche so we can work together to find a collaboration that works for both parties. So if we're wanting to get, for example, I get Tyler Perry, he's got more money than he knows what to do with. So how do we approach that? How do we make it a win-win scenario? Because we obviously win bringing in big names like that. That's a win for us. How do they win? Are they going to invest in Saitama and turn their $400 billion into $420 billion? Like, we have to find and approach these things delicately to make it work so everyone feels like they walk away happy, whether that's collaborating with their network or their charity, or are we sponsoring a significant event? It's very unique, and it's a dynamic that we have to approach carefully. But those connections are there. Conversations are had. It's just a matter of putting the pieces in place and making sure that we're jumping all these legal hurdles to get there. As a registered business, we have to take things very cautiously, especially when we're talking about naming and branding and all these things, because we will be a multi-billion-dollar business several years from now. So we don't want to have these repercussions haunt us down the road where, oh, you posted a picture of me on Twitter in 2021 and I didn't sign an agreement giving you the rights to use my name. Guess what? Now I'm taking you to court for a $10 billion lawsuit because they know we're a multi-billion-dollar company. And these things happen every day. So we need to be cognizant of that now so we don't have these issues moving forward.
Right. Someone's asking in the chat if you have to hold Saitama to use the Saitamask.
Yeah, absolutely. So that's what's going to drive our price up, right? So we're going to increase holders. We're going to increase use case, obviously. But if you want to use the Sata wallet and you want to use all of its functions and use the swap function and use the NFT creator, if you want to use the gaming platform or the marketplace, you're going to have to own some Saitama. That's just the way that it works. And it's the same with the Ethereum blockchain. If you want to swap an ERC20 right now on Uniswap, you have to hold Uniswap, or you have to hold Ethereum. So I guarantee you, everybody in this chat and everybody that holds Saitama has at least a little bit of Ethereum in their wallet, whether it's $20 or $40 or whatever. The same is going to be with Saitama. If you're going to utilize our platform, you're going to have to be a holder of some capacity. And the more you want to utilize the functions, the more Saitama you're going to have to hold. So it'll be an ongoing event, of course.
Can you tell us a little bit about the e-gaming partnership?
Yeah, so this is huge. So let me digress a little bit because I did see some questions about the contract and the press release that we did, and people were asking if we were going to be releasing and launching a new token, or I guess sister token affiliated with Saitama and the Blazefire games. So we're not launching any kind of sister token, so to speak, that will be affiliated with Blazefire games. What we're doing is in collaboration with esports and competitions through these HBCU campuses. So what we're looking at doing is creating specific tokens. They'll be Saitama tokens, but they will be branded specific to that university. So these HBCU campuses like South Carolina State or Howard University, it'll be a Saitama token with the Howard University logo embedded in it. So we will mint like a fair amount of these, and they'll be utilized on these esporting competitions, specifically to that university. So those are the tokens that we're talking about creating, and that'll be integrated into the SATA wallet, but they'll be unique to the esporting events that are going to be held on these campuses. And we now, with our partnership and collaboration, will have access and contractual obligations with every single one of these universities to host, to have an affiliation in some form or manner with every single esporting event taking place across all those platforms. And like I said, what it does is it brings all that attention and all those eyes back to Saitama, because you're going to be in this esport event. All you're going to see is Saitama, and it's going to make you, obviously your curiosity is going to take over and be like, what is this Saitama? I keep seeing it everywhere. Now I have this Howard University token with a Saitama logo on it. And these are all ways that we funnel the public back to the Saitama brand, back to the SATA wallet, back to what we are, back to our original premise of this project, and that's the Saitama token. So that collaboration in itself is going to feed into a lot of other events. That's just part of the esporting